Lips and handlebars. Put it on Tim like a porno star. Run back the tape in the VCR. I'm coming, baby, like the big black kahuna. I wish you would be
It's pretty chill too, though.
rich like silver spooner. Now, now I got your moon. I wish you would have did that 2 years ago. Let me feel the body hit the skin, yo. Now you see a brother make a little dough. I really hate the mess, but I love you, yo.
Good morning!
Welcome to Wake Up Westchester with Wendy
and Nate. This week is my car dancing turn. You've seen both of us CD now.
Now you can vote who can car dance better on our Wake Up Westchester app, available on Google Play.
Remember, CD is a great way to get your blood pumping, heart moving, healthy and going, and decrease your road rage.
Send us how you CD, and you can end up on our show. Send it to Wendy and Nate at wakeupwestchester.com.
Today we're going to have a really great show.
Today we have Marcy and Dean Clark from Circle Tail, and we have Kelly Cam from Four Tails from Ability.
Four Tails for Ability, I believe.
I think it's Four
Paws
for Ability. We have Marcy and Dean from Circle Tail to tell us about their service animals. Marcy, Dean, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Can you tell us a little bit about Circle Tail?
Circle Tail is a nonprofit organization that provides service dogs throughout the greater Cincinnati area. It was founded 19 years ago by a lady by the name of Marla Staley, and she remains to be our executive director to this day.
What type of service animals do you offer?
We provide dogs that are trained for mobility impairment, as well as dogs for hearing impairment. And just recently, we have started to train dogs for diabetic alert programs.
Oh, wonderful. So, what makes Circle Tail different or unique from other service dog providers?
Well, really, there's two things. First of all, we are accredited by Assistance Dogs International, and that speaks to the standards that we have to achieve in our overall operation. And secondly, we provide our dogs to the recipients free of charge, other than a nominal $25 application fee. That's very different than a lot of other organizations that charge, a significant amount, sometimes as much as $30,000 for a fully trained service dog.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow. So is being accredited really a big deal?
We think it is. It establishes high standards for our organization, and these standards are very broad-reaching throughout the organization. They govern such things as how we train and care for our dogs, how we treat our clients, how we partner our dogs with their partners, recipients, as well as even things like the facilities and the premises that we're located on.
Okay.
You talked about partnering your dogs with the recipients. What's the process to get a service animal?
It all starts on our website, www.circletail.org. There is a form that can be completed online, and they complete that and submit the pre-application. We then review that, and that determines the eligibility and whether somebody would be suitable, what their expectations are, and things like that. And again, that's just the starting point. Once we review that, it continues on to things like a home visit. We make sure that the person's expectations are realistic. And that person then will eventually need to complete training, 60 hours of training with Circle Tail,
Okay.
so that they learn how to handle a dog and to care for it properly. So that's it's a lengthy process. So
One that seems worth it.
Right.
absolutely.
It seems like a very good organization. So how do you go about volunteering or donating to Circletail?
There's numerous ways that you can do it. Obviously, funding is critical to our success. If you go to our website, there are a number of different places throughout the website where you can make a donation. We do not receive any government funding. We are 100% funded by the generosity of the community that we serve. But there are many other things that we need besides funding as well. We couldn't do what we do without the volunteers that are a part of our organization. And so whether your skills are in working with dogs, public relations, website design, photography, landscaping, you tell us how you can help, and we'll fit you in somewhere. You can also send an email to info@circletail.org and look on our website, and you will find a calendar of events, and that always shows when our next volunteer orientation is going to be held, and we'd welcome anyone to attend.
There sure is. Last month, the IKEA's 4th annual Dress Me Up Community Silent Auction took place at the IKEA in Westchester. Proceeds will be going to the Lakota Local School Arts Programs. Also, a baby cafe opened up at the Westchester Hospital. It is a free drop-in outreach clinic for nursing mothers. Graduation for Lakota East and West is taking place May 19th and 20th, so make sure your students have their caps and gowns and you have that special graduation gift. Also, summer school starts May 31st.
Oh, and don't forget, the Business Expo is May 10th, and that's what's going on around town.
Cut. Beautiful.
Cool.
Okay.
And their service animals were a little different from yours. What kind of service animals do you offer?
Well, we do dogs as well, but we actually have a little bit of a different niche. We serve primarily children with disabilities of any age, and we also have a veterans program.
Wonderful. What breeds are your dogs typically?
Well, Lucy here is part golden and part lab, and she's very, very soft, which is really helpful to a lot of the children that we serve that have autism. They like that, the feeling of the very, very soft dog, so it helps with their sensory overload, helps calm them a little bit. We'll also do, straight golden, straight labs. We'll combine German Shepherds and Golden Retrievers, and we call them German Retrievers. We'll do standard poodles and golden doodles for those clients or family members that have dog allergies. And then we also offer a small dog, Papillon, to help with certain medical alert and hearing ear work.
Okay.
What kind of medical alerts?
Seizure alert, diabetic alert, type 1 diabetes, and then for our veterans, we'll do type 2 diabetes as well, and peanut allergy. We actually did our first gluten detection dog as well.
Oh, wow.
That was a little bit of a challenge because the dog, it has to be a pretty specific case. The dog has to be fed non-gluten dog food and treats for its entire life, and then there has to be a non-gluten household completely. But it's something that we are pretty proud of, that we were able to just, explore and make work.
Well, that really comes in handy for people who have children with autism who can't eat gluten. So that's really good.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. You mentioned that you have dogs for diabetics.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do? Is there a signal that they pick up on? Or?
Yeah, apparently there is a smell that emits from the body when blood sugar is either high or low. And we've actually been told by medical professionals that before a diabetic goes into ketosis or a diabetic coma, that there is this fruity acetone smell that emits from the breath. And so our dogs, because dogs have 100,000 times better sense of smell than humans, and that's a National Geographic study, that's not anything that we did, but because they have such a wonderful sense of smell, they're able to detect that before it gets to the danger point. So what they'll do is they'll usually, they'll be trained to sit and bark, but oftentimes what you'll see happen is the dog will be in the child's face, licking usually the ears, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, places where that scent can kind of emit from.
Do they do the same for the veterans?
Yes, for our veterans with diabetes, yes, they do the same thing.
Okay.
So that sometimes cues people in, that the child, like, whoa, there's this licking dog. And then that's where the alert will happen, and then mom or dad or the child can take his or her blood sugar and go, oh, wow, yeah, this is, you know, high or low, and then take whatever steps necessary to remedy that.
Okay.
That's wonderful. That sounds like it could save some lives.
Yes,
Right.
we've been told that our dogs have saved many lives, so we're pretty proud of that. And we're just using their natural ability for the greater good.
Wonderful. All right. You also have animals for people that have autism. Are the animals for a certain age?
We actually have no minimum age, and that's what makes Four Paws really unique from other agencies. And like I mentioned, we really sort of serve that niche. We didn't start off that way. We really started off helping adults with mobility problems because that's what our founder, executive director needed in a service dog. But people kept coming to her and saying, hey, you worked with kids with autism and adults with autism. What do you think about, you know, creating this dog that will help with behavior disruption and then tethering and then the search and rescue component, because a lot of kids with autism have a tendency to just bolt. And so we were the first agency to start the autism assistance dog, and then now we're still the largest. And that is our biggest request for service dogs, followed by seizure alert.
What is the process to get one of the dogs?
It's a long process, similar to Circle Tails. Yeah, we're all in this together. You can't rush, you know, a service dog for somebody. And so there's an application on our website, either for a child or a veteran. And then our families actually participate in our mission by volunteering to fundraise. So we fashioned our fundraising model after Habitat for Humanity, if you're familiar with that. So if you apply for a house through Habitat, you qualify for your own free house once you work on somebody else's. And that's kind of how we work at Four Paws. That allows us to be able to train a lot more dogs per year to help children and veterans than if it were just up to me to raise all of that money every year. So this year we'll actually place about 116 dogs.
Oh.
So most of those for children, I think 5 for veterans, and then the rest for children. Yeah, so it's a long process. You know, the dogs are placed when they're about a year and a half old. They go through basic obedience, crate training, and potty training, either at one of our 5 Ohio prisons that we work with or a traditional foster. And those folks have to live within about a 3-hour radius of Four Paws. Then they go into the socialization phase, which can again happen at either the foster or we work with about 20 college campuses. And I guess the closest to here would be Miami of Ohio. And those students take them in for a semester, take them all around campus into classes. So she actually spent a semester at University of Kentucky. And so she's used to this kind of a setting. And then they go into advanced training, and that's where they learn their specialty task based on what the client needs. So whether that be autism, hearing air, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, drug-exposed dog, peanut allergy, anything defined under the ADA is what we try to help with.
Oh.
How long does that full training process normally take?
About a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and then only about 60% of our dogs actually make the program. You know, because you have to be really good at everything. You can't have any nervousness or anything in public. So, you know, not every dog is meant to be a service dog, but every dog does have a purpose. And so, you know, the dogs that don't make it, they get adopted out as family pets. A lot of them get used as therapy dogs to help cheer people up in hospitals or nursing homes. So they all, you know, have a purpose.
Oh, so with all these specific traits necessary, can you use your current animal and train them to be a service dog, or?
Unfortunately not, and I'll give you just a quick story as to why not. My first dog was a wonderful, beautiful golden retriever, similar to the one out here that Circle Tail brought that wasn't on camera. But the problem is that I was a first-time dog owner. I knew nothing about dogs, and I did the bad thing of feeding her people food. And so it doesn't sound like a big deal, except for when you think about service dogs should have all public access, just like a wheelchair. So the child and the family should be able to go into a restaurant, just like the rest of us do, but bring the dog. The dog is trained to go under the table, so no one even knows that the dog is there. Now, if I thought, oh, I can take my dog into a restaurant, I fed her people food. That's a no-no. So she would expect people food at the restaurant and then maybe even steal that French fry from that table. So you can't have that. So that's the bad thing. You know, our dogs are trained and disciplined, you know, from a very early age not to do those kind of things, not to get into those bad habits. So that's why we start sort of from fresh, from scratch. We get to mold the dogs from birth versus, you know, somebody trying to train somebody else's dog.
Is there a fee?
Well, the families have to fundraise on behalf of our mission to qualify for a free service dog. Okay. But we've just placed our 1,000th service dog, and we've been around. Thank you.
For how long?
We've been around since 1998. So we're pretty proud. The family actually lives about 2 hours from here in Louisville, and we actually place dogs all over the globe. So they just happen to be, you know, pretty close in Louisville.
How do you get these wonderful, helpful animals? Do you use shelters or?
When we started off, when our first year, you know, we had 5 applications. We found really wonderful, qualified dogs in shelters. However, in trying to place 116 dogs a year, and every year we're trying to make that number greater to keep up with demand, we have our own breeding program. So Lucy was born at 4 Paws, along with 5 of her siblings. And some of them are service dogs, some of them are in our breeding program, and she just happens to be my ambassador dog, and she accompanies me on things like this.
Wonderful.
Well, we learned a lot.
Thanks so much for being on the show,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We sure learned a lot today.
If you want to learn more about service animals, go to our website at www.wakeupwestchester.com.
Also for upcoming events in the community. And if you have any interest in becoming a foster home, or if you have any experience in raising and training dogs, please contact Circletail. They're always looking for volunteers.
Have a great rest of the day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.